Welcome to the Shootin the Que podcast, presented by Heath Riles Barbecue, with tips, tricks, and an inside look with some of the top pitmasters in the game. Now here's your host, Heath Riles.
Welcome back, everybody. We're here for Season 3 on Shootin the Que. It's been a little short break right after the holidays. You ready for Season 3, huh?
I guess so.
You guess so? It's, what can I say? 2023 was an incredible year, I think, as far as growing and learning and just trying to be more involved with the business like we have been. We hadn't really sat down and got as structured as we have been in the past as we did last year. And I feel like leading into 24, we've already got a great jump on it. So let's talk about kind of 2023, how it went, some of the recipes we filmed, and some of the times we had. That sound good to you?
Yeah, it went by so fast. You're going to talk about it and be like, that seemed like just a week ago.
It was a week ago.
No, it wasn't.
But I don't know. One of the first things we done in January, we kind of started out and we went to When Pigs Fly event with Smoking Brothers. They're a pellet grill manufacturer out of Cape Girardeau, Missouri, and they invited us to kind of team up. They do this huge fundraiser, and they bring in all kind of different veterans from different segments. I think we were paired with the SEMO organization. Is that right? And there was some military first responders, and there was a girl, I think she had a louder mouth than I did, for sure. What was her name, Jacob? I cannot remember her name. Yeah, I know. But I'm sure we'll be paired with her again, and that event's coming up in a week or so, and so we're going to be back in Cape Girardeau.
I didn't get to make that event in 2023.
I know.
Maybe I'm going to try.
You're going to try to make it this time, right?
I'm going to try. I'm not going to promise, but I'm going to try. Things change when you have a child.
I know. But it was to raise money for first responders and military, and it was hosted by Smoking Brothers, like I said, and it was at Southeast Missouri State's campus inside of their, where they host basketball games and that. Like I said, took up the floor and all that, and we kind of used pellet grills on the inside, and they give us all a case of boneless, skinless chicken thighs, pork tenderloin, petite pork tenderloins, and some other things, and we got to cook and kind of hand out to the public. But it was a really good thing. I donated the rub that we kind of carried up. As people made donations, I kind of give them a bottle of rub. So it was an interesting event for sure.
So how did it work, though? I don't feel like I know it was to raise money, but.
So as people sampled your food, they kind of give you tips or however you want to say it, and it all went into a bucket, and whoever raised the most money that day won the kind of little event. Well, the night before, we kind of actually had an auction of the teams, and Myra Mixon's son actually bought our team. David Mixon did give a couple $1,000, and that got split between.
He didn't buy his dad.
He didn't buy his dad. He bought us. And, I'm a competitive kind of guy, and so I set out to win the thing, and so whoever raised the most money got it. So, of course, I just started giving away barbecue rub, $10 donation when you sample the food. Hey, $10, or some people just had, maybe $8. I don't know. Some give $15, but whatever you wanted to give, you got a product off the table, and you sampled some food, and we ended up winning the big fundraiser, and I think we raised almost $4,000 too. So I felt like we done a great job for what we were there for.
Do you know what the grand total raised was, for the whole event? Probably not, but.
I'm going to have to refer back to Jacob on this, but I want to say it was around 15, 16, 17,000. Yeah, it was close to 20,000, if I'm not mistaken.
That's cool.
So I thought it was a great event. For it to be, it was really cold outside, which was a kicker. And to be inside, being able to grill and host that event, it was cool. It got a little smoky in there.
I was about to
say,
it just seems like it'd be hard to
They've got
breathe.
exhaust fans, and it rose, but they had a live bands going on. They had a beer garden. They had vendors there. They had a little store set up. So you can see music, food, sampling, talking to people like us. It was a really good time.
It says on here that you had a bike horn.
Well, I needed a noisemaker, and somebody give me a bike horn.
That's awful.
Now, this year, I'm going to be honest, I'm looking for a think I need a megaphone or something like that to carry up there.
I probably am not going to make that one.
Why? You know how I'm going to get. And Ricky's going too. And he's going to have a hell of a time trying to get people to. Ricky's going with us.
I heard he was there last year.
Yeah, he was there last time. He was great help.
Great help.
He was. You know, and so this is their 4th annual event, and this is the first time we was involved with it. It was last year, but I'll be involved from here on out. Raylan, that's right. Raylan.
That was our waitress's name the other night. Raylan.
Where at?
Raylin is how she said it.
Yeah.
You're saying Raylan, like Raylin.
Yeah. Never mind on that one. Well, look, skipping on from the event there, I felt we cooked some incredible recipes in January, from the honey butter pecan salmon we cooked with Bob when he was in town.
Bob.
Turdnack.
Turn.
No, I'm playing. Trudnack. Pulled beef sandwich. It was really good. The cherry pecan ribs was really good that we done. And then we done some party wings and some loaded beef and bean dip. All those recipes are really good in January. You know, we try to stick with kind of football foods and quick and easy foods. It's cold outside and all that kind of stuff. So those January recipes. But we rolled into February, and we didn't really have a lot of travel in February. I don't think we done anything in February.
Not that I remember. I don't remember doing anything.
Besides watching the Super Bowl and our anniversaries in February, and it's Valentine's
remember the Super
Day.
Bowl.
I do. We stayed at home and watched Super Bowl. I cooked some food.
Yeah.
And you know, the weather actually was pretty cold last February here, so we didn't do much.
It was colder, like a lot last year. I feel like at this time. I don't know. It's just now kind of really getting cold.
Yeah, it is. I mean, we didn't really have a cold November or December. I mean, for the most part. I mean,
not this year.
No. But
last year.
I'm sure February, we get into February this year, March, you know, there's been Aprils where we had snows here now. The way everything's changed, you know, we did that barbecue event at Atoka, and it snowed out there.
Snowed that year.
Beginning of April. You know, and with it not being prime barbecue season, we made some pizza sliders and some enchilada dip, and we made some smoked pork belly burn-ins, and those were really good. But we didn't do much in February, being a short month, and that's kind of our cold month and our anniversary month. And then we rolled into March, and we didn't have any travel this past March at all.
No, not that I remember.
Didn't go anywhere. Just Easter and opening day of baseball, and we cooked that viral Philly cheesesteak on the new Traeger. And that
you
we
made
upset
all of Philadelphia mad.
I know. All of Philadelphia was really, really upset over that, especially that I used shaved New York strip instead of shaved ribeye.
And the wrong cheese and the wrong bread and the wrong everything.
I was working with what I had local here. I do not live in Philadelphia. I live in North Mississippi. So in a pinch, you got to go to Jersey Mike's, or you got to go to the bakery deli, and you got to get you some bread, and you got to do what you got to do.
It's true. We don't have that stuff here like they do. Just like I'm sure we have stuff here that they don't have there. So
I mean, it's one of those things, you know what I mean? But talking about videos, after that, we rolled into whiskey glazed peach ribs. Those were really good. I like them with that crown roll peach in them. The Guinness beef sliders are really good, and we done a 3-pound porterhouse steak. We done some bacon wrapped beef tenderloin and some bacon wrapped brats. And I can tell you that porterhouse steak really sticks out to me, because when I told the butcher that day I wanted him to cut me a 2.5-inch thick porterhouse at Kroger, he looked at me like I was crazy. And he said, "What are you going to do with that? Are you using that as a roast?" And I said, "No, I'm going to cook it. I'm going to eat it as a steak." And he was a new butcher. He didn't know me at the time because Bob had left from over there. But, yeah, he didn't know what I want to do with a 2.5-inch thick porterhouse.
They probably don't see that often.
No, they probably don't. It had a nice price tag on it to come from Kroger for sure, to be a regular cut. But April is always a busy month for us, always.
Yes, that's kind of when it starts getting busy, normally.
With it being Easter and then rolling into Springfest, and the one event that we didn't do last year that we're going back to this year, we didn't go to Shields Outdoor.
Well, because it was our daughter's birthday. It's also in April.
Yep, and they moved the Shields event to that weekend. And so, yeah, I couldn't go because of our daughter's first birthday.
Yeah.
So I told them if they didn't move it, I wouldn't be back, and they did move it. And so this year we are going.
Yeah.
Is that in March this year? Is that right? When we go to the Shields event? When is that? April? No, it's in April, right before Springfest, right before the week of Springfest.
That's right. Didn't it? But you did. So you didn't go last year, but it snowed and it was like crazy, which it has never been that way before.
Everybody had to go buy like boots and I think coveralls and bibs and all that.
Not
And so
normally
I
like
got
that.
really lucky not having to go because of our daughter's birthday. But I'm looking forward to it this year, and I'm going to be sure that I pack some bibs.
Really?
Just in case. I mean, I'm not going to be crazy. I don't want to get off there without my Carhartts. I mean,
You have Shields. That's why you're there.
well, I don't want to buy. You know, my Carhartts are like 20 years old. Those bibs I wear, and that is literally the Carhartt bibs that I wear hunting sometimes, or I wear out to work in. Those things are 20 years old. Every bit of 20, if not older than 20 years old. That just goes to show you, Carhartt. I mean, they make stuff that lasts. Also goes to show you I don't work a lot in them.
That's true.
Well, I mean, being truthful. You know, but we also kicked off our podcast in April. And
That's
so
crazy.
for this to be season 3, we shot 2 seasons last year. I'm not going to say that I'm comfortable behind the mic yet and hosting these podcasts, but I've had a blast with a lot of the guests we've had in here and talking about some of the recipes, and we've had some really fun moments on and off camera with the podcast, everything that we didn't show, and it just brings out a different side of people, and we get to talk to people and see people more that we're not in a competitive space cooking.
Yeah.
You know, I guess is a better way to see it. You know, and coming up soon, we have Bob and Mo on the show, so that should be real interesting for sure. But last April, not only kicking off the podcast, you know, we always do a good ham every Easter.
For Easter.
And last year we done a whiskey raspberry glazed ham, had some bourbon in it, and it was very good. The maple bacon cinnamon rolls were good. The shrimp tacos were good. And, of course, one of my favorites, believe it or not,
My idea.
yeah, was the stuffed peppers that I done.
The chicken stuffed
Chicken stuffed peppers.
Those were actually very good.
I mean, we cooked them in that wood-fired oven in our Lodge cast iron pan, and I guess it's probably time to do that again.
Yeah.
Those were really, really
They were
good. I
very
could probably do a different version of those, maybe a Mexican-inspired version, stuffed pepper.
I liked the version the way it was.
That was
but
good. It was really good.
I guess you could change
Really,
it
really
up.
good. We done the hangover burger. I really liked it. It was good. And the hickory smoked prime rib. You know, and then we also had Springfest in April. Now, Springfest, for everybody that don't know, South Haven Springfest is kind of our backyard cook.
Local, yeah.
Yeah, and I know you didn't get to come as much as you wanted to because of the baby and all that, but we had people in town. Shannon Lacey come and cook the contest.
Mm-hmm.
Bob, he was not here for Springfest.
no.
Mitchell come to town, and Kevin come to town to help because he was running a pit in Memphis.
Barely.
He had such a crazy trip to get here.
We talked about that on the podcast with him that we did.
That
He
was,
barely got here, but he did.
well, you remember when we got here too, the hotel would not let him check in his room,
I
but had
remember.
charged me for it.
I remember because I had called the night before and told him that he was still coming, but I didn't know what time he would be there. They told me it was not a problem. They were holding the room. Well, then once he got there, they were like, "Oh, we don't have the room."
That manager was so rude to me that day, and so just
He hung up on me on the phone. He
hung up on
literally
you,
hung up on me.
and I drove over there.
I
We got
remember.
into a verbal argument in the lobby,
He told you he was going to call the police.
and I told him, "Man, don't call the cops. I'll call them for you." I said, "All my friends are on shift, so I can get them over here if you really need them to." And of course, that didn't happen. But we left, and we got to check in the room later on. We just said, "Forget it." But 6 months later, 5 or 6 months later, this guy was arguing with another customer, and they shot him in the leg in the hotel
It
lobby.
just wasn't
They
meant
shot
for
this
him to
guy.
be a hotel manager.
I just don't think he should be a hotel manager.
I don't think he should be in customer service at all, the way that he
very rude,
acted.
and you know what? I do feel bad for the guy because he didn't deserve to get shot. But do I think it's funny as hell? Yes, I do. Because it reminds me straight up off the movie Harlem Nights. Oh, yeah. If you've never watched Harlem Nights, that's one of the classic Eddie Murphy movies.
I don't think
when he is telling that lady that he ain't going to fight her, he's going to shoot her pinky toe off if she keeps on.
Well, go ahead.
And he told her 3 times, and he finally shot her pinky toe off.
So you think somebody probably told him? And
you know what? They probably warned that dude, and he just would not stop popping off that mouth. And
we don't put people at that hotel anymore because of him.
No, we don't. We changed hotels because of that.
We don't even use that hotel.
I don't remember that guy's name, but I hope he's healed up nice on his crutches.
On his crutches. I don't remember his name either.
That can't help but be funny. Come on. You're arguing with somebody in the lobby and they pop off a .22 round on your leg just because.
I mean, we don't know the story truly, but
I don't give a damn what the story was. You arguing with somebody and they tell you to stop and they shoot you in the leg. That's pretty.
He wasn't friendly. But
at Hampton Inn. Was it Hampton Inn?
No.
What was it?
Hilton Garden Inn.
Hilton Garden Inn. Yeah, Hilton Garden Inn.
Don't stay at the Hilton Garden Inn.
Yeah, don't stay at the Hilton Garden Inn.
In our town.
Oh, man, that was a good one. So after Springfest, we did not final at Springfest, but we had a really good cook. I don't even remember where we placed in ribs that day.
You usually remember that kind of stuff.
I don't remember where we placed that day.
27th.
Yes. Okay. Well, never mind. That's why I don't remember where I finished at.
You erased it from your memory.
Yeah. Well, they always say you go to South Haven, do good. You don't do good at Memphis in May. It's kind of always been a thing. And we went down there and almost had a perfect score. We wound up 9th overall.
With a perfect score, yeah.
Yeah, we were like 0.14 away from a perfect score. That just shows you how close it is. But talking about the podcast, we kicked off season 1, and the first 2 episodes released on 4/20. How fitting. Mm-hmm. Just saying, those were high times. And we kicked off the first episode, and then Mitchell, and then of course we had
on that one. It was just you and Mitchell, wasn't it?
Well, everybody was in town kind of for
Springfest.
And then we filmed one with Kevin and Shane while they were in town here, and just kept going from there. And then we rolled into May after Springfest. We're kind of, it's done hit the fan around here, and we're loading trailers and making sure we've got everything ordered we need to order and all that kind of stuff for Memphis in May. And
never seems to get done.
Well, we're in January.
Like you think it is.
Right now.
You think you have it all covered, and then, I know. I'm just saying. I feel like it's just one of those, no matter how much you plan, you always think of other stuff that you, at the last minute.
I know. And I say every year I'm going to be more organized, and I am more organized every year than I am the year before.
We don't even have a trailer right now.
No, I sold my trailer. The new
we don't even have a barbecue trailer.
The new trailer should be here anytime.
Yeah.
It is what it is. But we rolled into May to go to Memphis in May, and we kicked that off with Cinco de Mayo, and I done some gringo ribs, and I used some of my rub and some of Malcolm's rub. And I will tell you, those ribs were some of the best ribs I cooked all year long. I'm going to put them in my top 3 rib recipes for the year. Those gringo ribs are really good. I really liked them with a squeezed lime on them. The flavors, the herbs that it picked up, the Mexican flair, I really, really liked it. And then we done the whole Ramble Rita and nachos for Cinco de Mayo and the Yeti bucket and all that kind of stuff.
We also, did you drink that Hennessy for Cinco de Mayo, or was that just...
No, we did. So we took a little office lunch over to the local Mexican joint, and one of our workers decided after everybody had too many margaritas and too many beers and everything else that we were going to have shots of Hennessy. And
I did not have that shot.
I did.
I didn't.
I'm not a Hennessy drinker. Not a Hennessy drinker.
I knew better than
Evidently, she was not either. She'd never had it. She just wanted to order it. Yeah, not good. But we kind of focused on ribs for the whole month of May.
Yeah, that's true.
And so I said the gringo ribs were in my top. Them hot wing ribs that I done were in my top 2. They were really good.
Yeah.
Because I think those 2 rib recipes are 2 totally different flavor profiles off from any kind of barbecue that you could ever do.
Yeah, they're unique. Very unique.
Did you eat any of the hot wing ribs?
I don't remember, honestly.
I don't know if you were home that day or not.
I really don't remember if I did. But I know that I know I like Bob's Hot Wings also, and that says that's what you use, so I'm sure.
Yeah, it was really good.
I don't remember eating them, but I'm sure I would have liked them. I
I
like
know
anything hot wing, like hot sauce. I do. You don't. I do.
Yeah, that's right. And then we cooked some more ribs on the BFO, on the Outlaw, and the practicing for Memphis, you know. And then we done some ribs on the Weber kettle. I finally stayed at home long enough to do something on the Weber, and it actually turned out to be my most popular full-length recipe video of the year. And so those ribs were really, really good. And then we done the spicy peach ribs, and I really liked those. They were really good. But, yeah, 5 rib recipes the month of May. I don't know what I'm going to do this May yet. I hadn't decided if I'm going to do all ribs or I'm going to mix it up and do some different stuff.
I don't know. It's barbecue month, so barbecue. But
I think I'm going to change it up and do something different every week. And what I really want to do,
I know what you're about to say, I think,
is film some competition-style videos.
Oh, that's not what I thought you were going to say. I
Building-
thought you were going to say a whole hog.
I'm going to cook a whole hog for a video coming up. We are.
Yeah.
I have plans for 4th of July whole hog, and I have plans probably for a competition hog video. And I'm going to do it, and I'm going to wait till we're finished at the farm.
You going to do it all by yourself on the video?
I don't know. You can help if you want.
I've never had a choice before.
But I'm going to break it down into segments. And where everybody is charging all this money for videos, I'm going to upload it for free. I'm going to give it away. I don't go out and cook contests every day anymore. So I really want to take the time with my film people here at the office, and really once we get our kitchen built and our new film kitchen opens up in April or something like that, and we get finished with it on our farm, I really want to take and do competition-style videos to show somebody how to cook them and how to build the box if they ever decide they want to go to that contest, or to a contest anyway. And I'm just going to give it away for free. I think a lot of people charging for these classes. I'm glad they make livings by it, but I'm not trying to make a living by doing that. So I'm just going to give away the knowledge that I've kind of learned over the years and see what happens. So that's.
I mean, I think people still want the classes too, though.
Oh, they do.
You get requests for that all the time.
We do. And we do backyard style classes now. I just don't do a lot of competition style classes.
No.
And don't get me wrong, there's 5 or 6 people out here teaching classes that need to be teaching classes. They're proven winners every time they go out.
Yeah.
But some of the guys out here teaching classes that hadn't won but 2 or 3 contests, and it's like, what are you teaching a class on?
I have noticed that lately as well.
I mean, why is people going to pay to? And I think they're trying to undercut prices from the real comp guys to. I mean, I'm not saying they're not real comp guys, but you really have to have an accredited win sheet before you can really charge that kind of money for a class and call it a competition style class.
I agree. I definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
I don't want to go. I personally wouldn't want to go to somebody's class that hadn't been out there for years, really. I mean,
knowledge and understanding of everything.
I feel like that's what most people want in a class, is to kind of get that knowledge that people have learned over however many years they've been doing it.
Well, I've seen guys try to teach classes and they don't even know how to break down a score sheet to read it. And so if you're trying to explain to somebody how to win a contest, but you can't read the score sheet, how are you helping that said person?
Well, that's one of the top things that I know I'm not the head cook, but when people have asked us, or even just me, like, I always tell them to go take a judging class. And that's whatever sanctioning body you're going to cook in. You're not truly going to understand what judges are looking for until you do that, because you can just go off of what people tell you all day, but until you are a trained or certified judge, you're just guessing.
Well, and I'm going to back that up too. After you take the training class, you immediately need to go judge 5 contests.
Yeah, or you'll forget it, kind of, sort of.
Well, it's not so much forget it, and you'll know when I hit on this right here. When they build those boxes in there, they're not building them to make it look like what we build them like.
No, they're just kind of,
they're just throwing some meat in the box.
Yeah, because I think the people building the boxes at those classes are not
They can't do it.
Yeah, they're not truly box building people.
They're not true
just
barbecue
there to
people.
help. Well, they're teaching the class. They have that side of the knowledge, but maybe not the actual cook side.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of, I think, really good reps and organizers
yeah.
out there that love barbecue and love the sport of it, but can't do it.
Well, and I'll be honest, I'm not picking a favorite by any means, but I do like that KCBS has where once you judge for so long, you go cook with a team to become
a master judge.
Become a master judge. I think that if there's nothing wrong with being just a judge if that's all you ever want to do, but I think a lot of those judges don't ever see the true competition side and what we all go through to get them that box unless they experience that.
I agree.
In my opinion,
I do wish the MBN had something like that after so many contests. You could go cook with a team and become a master judge, because as you know, this is a hard subject to get on. I could go on and on about it, about whole hog.
yeah,
There is so many judges. I hadn't judged an MBN contest. It's been 5 or 6 years now. But the last time I judged, I was sitting at the table with some very well-seasoned judges. I could blatantly pick out things in boxes that should or shouldn't be there, and they couldn't. And I would never call any of their names out, but it's like I have a very good palate, but just some of the things that they're considering top barbecue is not top barbecue. And I understand that's the way the scoring is written in the Memphis Barbecue Network. You have to give a 10 that day.
yeah.
Where in KCBS you don't,
Well, they don't even have a 10.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's nothing wrong with
Best score.
either side of looking at it like that.
Oh.
I think to your point, to add on to that, it does need to be updated judging qualifications. We had to do the update for KCBS. We had to go through online and do all that stuff. And if you didn't get it right, you didn't move on to the next segment.
Mm-mm.
And we don't really have a lot of that on the Memphis side, and it's going to be really interesting to see what happens with the Memphis Barbecue Network. I would really like to see them grow. I'd love to see them progress and get back to 40 to 50 contests a year. But let's face it, they need some help. They need some rule changes. They need some updating. They need some technology. They need several things. But
Well, I think every sanctioning body could use changes. I mean, not just one or the other. Everything could be updated.
Well, I think
across
with
all
KCBS
bodies.
having the scoring issues they've had, they might need some updates too. And I'm not nitpicking on one or the other.
Yeah.
And trying to get off that. We on May with barbecue month and kind of getting on the ramble with all that. But it's literally every organization I really hope looks at and learns from other organizations in 2023. And takes it 2024 as a growing year to make some impactful changes in their organizations, because you can't keep doing the things you have been doing the same way. Things need to be changed, and that's the only way to allow things to grow. And we see it in the Memphis side sometimes where they want to roll back the other way and go back to the way things used to be in the 80s, and that's not going to work anymore. It just don't work anymore.
You just can't ever make everybody happy. So
You can't, is what it is.
no matter what you do.
Well, kind of talking about Memphis in May,
Whole nother topic.
I thought we had a great time at Memphis in May. I'm not even going to get into what's going on down at the park right now, any of that. I'm talking about just recapping last year.
Yeah.
We started off Wednesday, had just a low-key us. On Thursday, we hosted a Yeti Bloody Mary bar.
That was for Hogs for a Cause.
That was for Hogs for a Cause, a
collecting money
fundraiser.
for that.
That was a really good deal. I love the whole Bloody Mary bar thing. We'll do it again this year, but we'll probably scale it back a little bit.
It was Bloody Mary and mimosa.
Yeah, Bloody Mary mimosas.
But mainly Bloody Mary, I think.
Bob cooked beef ribs and wings and had a perfect score basically, and still finished like 6th and 10th overall. There was a lot of perfect scores in the mix of those categories. And ribs, like I said, we finished 9th place with a 125.77 and a 120. A 1026 is a perfect score. So we're .24 out, not 1.4. Excuse me. I think it was 0.14 out of finals is what it was. 0.24 was a perfect score. But the big thing for me was seeing a rib team win it, and especially being tied to or knowing the person or people that cooked those ribs, John Wheeler, John Dalton, being tied to that team and cooking, and it couldn't have happened to more of a deserving person than John David.
I agree.
As far as rib, because he'd almost won it before with the rib, and like I said many times before, if anybody was going to do it, I'm glad it had to be him. We sure didn't want some of these others to do it. I mean, I'm just going to be truthful. But June, we didn't have much travel at all. Just grilled up some recipes. We done a pork belly like a brisket, the Wagyu tomahawk ribeye, the hot honey jalapeno cornbread, cheeseburger hoagies, which were incredible. I'm gonna look back at Jacob that day. Those were really good. And the hot and fast versus low and slow pulled pork. Those were all good videos for June. And then we rolled into July and just nailed some recipes. We didn't do much traveling besides a family vacation in July. And we had pork belly tacos, Big Mac tacos, which was a viral TikTok recipe. And I'm going to tell you, those smash burger tacos, whatever you want to call them, however hit, that is an easy, simple recipe for a flat top. And you can make that thing into a taco or a burger. And, they've been serving quesadilla burgers for years at Chili's. Yeah. Back in the day, Chili's used to be the place, them 2-for-1s cold beers.
Is it Chili's or is it Applebee's that does that? Is it
Applebee's used to do 2-for-1s?
Don't they
too?
have no, I'm talking. I meant like the quesadilla thing.
I think they both places.
Haven't
They're both
been to
kind of
either
like
in
bar
years.
pub food. Who knows? Applebee's, shenanigans, whatever. Same thing.
I've never seen Ryan Reynolds there, unfortunately.
Hey, for anybody that has not watched the movie Waiting,
with Ryan Reynolds.
With Ryan Reynolds from way back when. What was that, late 80s, early 90s?
80s? What?
I don't know, 90s?
Early 2000s.
Early 2000s? Okay, my
God.
bad. Early 2000s. I don't know. Shit. Can't keep up with time. I don't know how old that man is.
Not that old.
Yeah, I'm probably older, right?
I don't know exactly how old he
Probably.
is. I don't know.
Probably. But yeah. That was good times. But
The movie's awful.
we finished up with wood-fired chicken. It is not awful.
You know what I mean. Like, it's funny, but it's gross.
It is. It shows you the true side of restaurants.
3 more minutes to the ball drop, baby. Come on! Woo! Woo!
Oh, hi there.
You're not closed yet, are you?
Not quite.
Oh, terrific.
I'm sorry, guys.
Don't go into a restaurant 10 minutes to closing and order food from the kitchen staff, because just don't. No, just don't do it. Then we done the wood-fired chicken in the Alpha oven, which is really good, and the Hawaiian burgers. In August, we rolled into college football kicking off, and one of the biggest times that I had all year long happened in August. We went to Florida to the good old Rub and Tug that W Sauce hosts, which was a huge fundraiser. And you can talk a little bit about it. It was, I can't wait till August again this year. I can't wait.
It was just an event that, Bear and Burton kind of, I think, joked about, honestly, and it just came.
I think they were joking with Matt about it,
Pittman,
right?
I don't know, and it came to life, basically, and they were able to put it together. I almost say throw it together, but I don't want to use that because I don't feel like it was a thrown together event, but I think according to them, it kind of was, because they only had a few months to plan it, but basically, it was invitation only, and it was to raise money for pediatric brain cancer, and so it was just a 3-day event.
A 3-day event, and this year I'm going to make it a 4 or 5-day event for myself. I'm going in early and staying late.
It was a lot of work, as far as, you got to be up early to be down to the boat, but then you're not done till late. And then you got to be back up early. I mean, there was no like downtime really,
No
which I'm not
downtime.
complaining about, but it wasn't. Everybody thinks about going to Key West or Florida and relaxing. It was not relaxing really.
No, we cooked the whole time, and it was a lot of.
But it was fun.
Boom, 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 and it was a lot of notable people there. I mean, Max the Meat Guy, Ryan Lane from Lane's Barbecue, Matt Pittman, Mike Starr from Blazing Star Barbecue, Dark Side of the Grill, Cosmo. Who else was there? Al Fragoni. We met several other guys from TikTok. JD and them, everybody in Texas. The Briggy Bomb guys, the guys from RC Ranch. Who'd you say?
I said I don't remember the other sauce people that we carry their sauce now.
Oh, the
Drosco.
Yeah, Drosco's. It was just an incredible event, but cooking offshore, how many ever miles that was, 5, 6, 10, whatever, I don't know the miles. There's alcohol involved, but being able to cooking out on a sandbar and the water rising up, and that picture that was captured and it went on front of the National Barbecue News, and that was probably one of the best times that I've ever had that day. We grilled that lobster out there like that and that Wagyu, and it was just an incredible day of fishing and lobster diving and just hanging out. It was, I don't know.
Lobster diving is not for me.
Lobster diving is very hard for anybody that's not done any lobster diving.
I mean, you're sitting here saying an incredible day of lobster diving. No, not that part.
Well, I mean, I got in the water. You didn't get in the water.
And I'm not going to for that.
I mean, it wasn't bad. 7, 8, 10 foot deep.
Yeah, they said it was going to be like 4 to 5.
Now, the current was pretty rough carrying you off that
That's
day
not
that we
me.
went, but
Nope.
it happens. Well, that was an incredible trip by far, and we finished up April cooking.
Hey, don't forget you can only take one suitcase.
Yeah. Oh, so we go ahead and say that. So I roll to Memphis Airport with 2 suitcases, and they tell me I can only take one
Per person
to Key West on the plane. So I had to have one of my guys come get the suitcase with my supplies in it and FedEx it down and then FedEx it back. It was such a headache. So this year I'm going to be shipping some stuff down to the marina and shipping it back on a pallet. And I'm just going to get on a plane with a carry-on. That's it.
Well, I'm not going to have a carry-on. I'm going to have a regular size bag, but I'll just have one.
And we're going to Key West early and staying late.
We'll see.
I am.
We have a daughter at home.
I know, but I got to get down there and go fishing with Bear
I do want to go fishing with Bear also.
before this trip, so I can kind of sport out some spots. And I'm kind of thinking I may
I'm
go.
still waiting on my Bear hat. That
I may go in
was
April or
supposedly getting.
March. I'm gonna look and see. Look at the schedule. I had to roll down there. You want to go?
I will.
I mean, just in and out. I want to go fishing a couple days. But also, we done a podcast with Big Jake, Barbecue with Big Jake. And we've become friends with Jake, and I can tell you, genuine guy, one of the most down-to-earth people you can just ever sit and hold a conversation with. This guy's the most simple country.
I feel like he's kind of shy, honestly.
He is.
I mean,
a
but
little
not
shy.
behind the camera when he's
Not
like
behind the
doing
camera.
his videos, but in person.
I
a
don't
little
think he's
bit.
shy. It's just
He seemed a little shy. He came to our Christmas party.
he did. He had a
Seemed-
good time.
Seemed kind of shy.
Well, he didn't know a lot of people there.
I don't know.
We were so busy. I mean, he had a good time, though. And he did come by Memphis in May, and
Yeah.
he's actually going to Cape Girardeau with us. And I think he's going to be cooking with us at Memphis in May this year, hanging out with us. Really good guy. In September, we ventured on down to Orlando and went to Chad Ward's grand opening of Whiskey Bent Barbecue. And we done that. That was a great time seeing. We seen Matt and Cosmo again, and who else was there? Was Bear and Burton, did they make it there? Or was that just a
Burton
taste?
was there.
Burton was
Bear
there.
wasn't there.
Rug Bagby.
Yes, Rogue was there.
There was a lot of barbecue guys there in Florida, you know. But then we went over to the
remember.
Ace show, and and seen a lot of barbecue people there, all the Gateway guys there, Tim and all them, Cosmo, Alpha Groney, Hey Grill, Hey Susie, of course Matt. I know I'm missing people, other people in the industry, but just being able to network with those people and
Met
see
the
everybody.
Danos
And
people.
Yeah, the Danos people were there. We had a booth right beside them. Those are great people. I mean, we had a fun-filled August and September for sure.
Yeah.
With the traveling to
very
Florida
busy.
and gone and this and that and home and cooking recipes. We made those sausage balls, some cheeseburger dip, some bloomin' barbecue bologna, the bourbon and brown sugar baked beans, and then we made over the top chili, which was kind of my second most viewed video so far of the year of 2023 on the Traeger, and it was that recipe turned out really good, you know. And I see now going back into some of the notes that we made, just getting to see so many people. Amanda Riggin was there, and Kendrick was there.
Benny was
Yeah, Benny's a good dude. Good dude. Kendrick Barbecue. Anybody that don't know who that is need to look him up. Look Benny up under Kendrick Barbecue on any of his social media platforms. He's got a hell of a brand and does really good videos and stuff. And he only cooks on Traegers. Has since day one. So really, really good guy. But the trade show was really nice. The Ace Hardware trade show, and we did have some good time in Orlando. We went to Top Golf. We went out to eat several places.
we did go to Top Golf there, didn't we?
Yeah.
It's all a blur.
Do what?
I said it's all a blur.
It was a lot of it was a blur because it was a lot going on there in Orlando at that trade show and leaving Chad's. We also met the Spiceology people, Truff hot sauce people, Baking Up people.
I didn't meet them, but you probably did.
Yeah, I did.
I met the
owner.
Spiceology one. I didn't meet the Bacon Up.
Really,
but
really
you-
good
I
guy.
mean, you use that stuff all the time, though.
We do. And then I say we had a busy August and September. We rolled into October. We went to the Jack Daniels in Lynchburg and kind of covered that and seen a bunch of people I hadn't seen in years. And
Had to leave early. I did.
had to leave early. The baby got sick. We had rented a house and she got sick and y'all had to come home.
Pretty cool house, though.
It was on Tim Ford Lake. It was beautiful sitting out there in the morning times and in the evening times. Yeah, that was a really good time.
Whiskey Cove is what
Whiskey
they called
Cove.
it, I believe.
Everything was really cool about that place except the driveway. You felt like you were supposed to run off in the lake.
That was kind of
Down there,
scary
ain't that right?
driveway. It
Had
was,
Jacob hanging out the window at one point. Can you see what's in front of the truck?
Yeah, it was something else. You just had to press the gas and hope for the best.
Yeah, especially going up the hill too out the other
Yeah,
way.
you couldn't
That was
see.
rough. But then we come home, and a week later we were at Atlanta at the Royal Oak Invitational over there in Roswell, Georgia.
I did a bunch of podcasts over there.
I've done a bunch of podcasts over there with a bunch of guys, and I'm sure we're going back over there again this year. But one of the best things that we done there was me and you and Malcolm and Rochelle and Jacob all went to eat. And what was the name of that place that we went to? We did not put it. Pampas. Oh, that was probably one of the most incredible meals that we've all had together. That was really, really good. What would you say, Jacob? That was one of the top. That was 10 out of 10. It was everything about it.
It was very good.
We were the last ones in the restaurant to leave that night. They pretty much said, y'all, they done locked the front door.
They didn't ask us to leave.
They didn't ask
They
us
were
to
nice
leave.
about it.
They were very
respectful.
nice about it. Very nice about it. They would have brought us more drinks if we wanted them.
Yeah, we didn't need
They were
them.
trying to run the vacuum in the back. It was a
But
good
I
time.
swear, I think that's the only time you've ever had like soulfish done tableside, right?
Malcolm taught me into getting the soul, and it
He
was like
had
a
had it
lemon butter.
before.
I hadn't had it. I love fish, love Chilean sea bass and other fishes like that. I'll skip over a steak to eat good fish.
Yeah.
And he said, if you've never had soul, man, you've got to get it. Got to get it. And it had fried capers on it.
Oh, I forgot.
They
Yeah,
deep
I
fried the
tasted it.
capers,
It
which
good.
was totally not traditional to me. I'm used to just
good, though.
capers being in a lemon butter sauce, but it was spectacular. I do remember that. It was just really, really good. And we had some really good recipes. We done those chicken bombs. We done the barbecue sloppy joes, which I thought were
I
don't
love
know. It was a
I
childhood
like Sloppy Joe's.
throwback. The barbecue sloppy joes were really good.
I
to
don't
me
think
that
I got
day.
to try that recipe, but I kind of wish I did because I love Sloppy Joe's and if it had W sauce, I'm sure
It was
really good.
they were really good, weren't they? But also another thing that was super super good was the Boom Boom chicken kebabs that we brushed with the Drosco sauce that we
Pretty
made
sure I
up.
tried those.
Yeah, with their sweet Thai chili sauce and all that. That was really good, and the beer cheese dip was good that we done on the Traeger. It was really really good. But kind of going back and talking about Jack Daniels, we also was able to witness. I know you left, but we stayed around that Saturday and we went to awards and hung out and all that kind of stuff, and we got to see Uncle Pig's barbecue pit win the grand championship. We had the camera on him, and to catch his reactions and his family's reactions was I thought super cool. It's kind of giving me chill bumps under my hoodie now because I've never won the Jack Daniels, but just being able to walk across some of the other stages I've walked across in my career.
Yeah, that would be a good one to win.
To see him win that and knowing what it meant to him and his family, I'm just glad we were able to capture that moment for him. I thought it was pretty cool. Our good buddy Bill Gillespie, who we winded up interviewing at Royal Oak the next week, took first place chicken over there. Uncle Pigs took first place ribs. Smoking Magic out of Kansas City took first place ribs. And then first place brisket went to More Better Barbecue. We were lucky enough to sit down with the old barbecue goat, Darren Worth, and talk to him while we were at the Jack. And we filmed Kerry Chastain's ribs and chicken, and they were both very good. And when we were at Royal Oak, we went on and followed 4 teams through their box building, since it was kind of a private event at Royal Oak, an invitational event. And we filmed Charles doing his chicken.
Yes.
And he actually won first place chicken there, which was really cool. And he is really precise on the things he does, everything that he does. And then being able to follow, we done ribs with Jeff from Chicken and Grinning, him and Derek. And, of course, that was a trip, being in the trailer with those two during turn-ins.
I wasn't in there, but I was outside.
No. And then we done pork with Razor Racks. And Drew, did he end up winning the contest?
Yes, he did.
He GC'd the contest. But being able to capture his pork box, I don't remember where he wound up in pork. Was it first or second? Yeah.
I'm not sure.
But he
won.
only cooking on 3 drums, though. And
by himself.
Yeah,
no
by
help.
himself. Really, really good time. And then we done Smoking Scully's. We followed him on brisket. And he's one of our sponsored teams, and he had a really good brisket that day. And he got a brisket call that day. 9th place brisket, yeah. But it was a really good time. And, Malcolm made his bullfrog punch for like a demo that day.
That was good.
That was really good for a big punch deal, a party punch.
Yeah.
And I done kind of a steak demo, talked about ribeyes and tomahawks and strips and all that kind of stuff, and cooked them on a Yoder. And like I said, that night we went to Pompa's Steakhouse. And I forgot we did have the tableside banana Fosters.
Yep.
That was really good. That's kind of my thing. If there's a tableside banana Fosters on a menu when I go to a restaurant, I'm going to say 10 out of 10, I'm going to order it.
If it's tableside, yeah.
If it's tableside, every single time. I don't know why. And I'm not even a huge banana eater, but I love tableside banana Fosters. Really good. And then we rolled into Thanksgiving, where I cooked a buttload of turkeys and hams and all that kind of stuff for personally and for videos. But we also made the white chicken chili, which is really good. We done the Cajun boudin stuffed turkey. We done a fried turkey for the first time in a while on video.
I think you made some people mad with that video too, didn't you?
Yeah. Everybody says we could have killed a burner and all that. Well, I didn't want to kneel down on one knee and try to light
We're
a burner
in Mississippi.
back
We
under
don't
a
do
pot.
that.
Yeah, I've got more. I'm not scared. I used to play in the cemetery when I was a kid at night. I'm not scared of a little grease over here, of a grease fire.
Well, I mean, it is a real thing. It can happen.
It
We
can
shouldn't
happen. I
joke
was
about
outside.
it,
I wasn't in the kitchen.
Yeah. Well.
I wasn't on the patio. I was out in the yard, so I was not afraid of trying to catch something on fire because I know I wasn't going to catch it on fire. I was a volunteer fireman as well.
Oh, God, don't go there.
I know how to put out a fire. Don't fight it, girl. We also made hash brown casserole. And we took some Thanksgiving leftovers and made a turkey gumbo. Now, that was good. And might go home. We have to wait till Monday and do a red beans and rice because Monday is red beans and rice day. Did you know that?
Why?
Always, that's a Cajun tradition. It was a simple, easy dish to cook on a Monday. You soak your beans on Sunday night, and everybody always done red beans and rice on Mondays.
Never
I thought
heard
you knew that.
I never heard that before.
Yeah, I read that. It's like a Cajun tradition. But we also made, we took some leftover ham and made a ham and cheese quiche, which was really good. And that was only the second quiche that I'd ever made. And I'm missing out. I think that I need to create some different type of quiches. It's simple.
Quiches. That sounds
Well,
not
I wonder,
right.
is there such thing as a barbecue quiche out there? Has anybody ever done that? I've never Googled it, but I don't know if pulled pork would be good in it, but just hear me out here. Taking chopped brisket and eggs and maybe some already cooked
hot sauce. You need
peppers
hot
and
sauce.
onions and kind of putting in there and almost making, like that. I think that would be pretty good. And then you drizzle hot sauce or spicy barbecue sauce over it.
Hot sauce.
Really thin hot sauce.
I
I think especially doing like burnt ends in it or something. Maybe leaving them semi-big. Might have a new idea. I'd do a breakfast barbecue quiche. Sounds like something
I'd
different.
try it.
The ham and cheese one was really good. Well, and then we got into December. And just like that, the year's gone.
Came out with the Glazes in December.
We did. We launched December the 4th. It was one of the biggest things we done. We launched our 3 new Glazes. And I had 5 ready to go. And I didn't launch but 3 of them. I have a pineapple and an apple in the hole ready to go. And I'll say it on this podcast, I've worked on another flavor that has turned out really good. It's really unique. It's not another flavor out there like it. I'm not going to say it today on film. But I imagine we will see it sometime before Memphis in May. Because I think it's going to have to make a debut at Memphis in May on some ribs this year, that new glaze. But I can tell y'all, for anybody that's not tried my cherry apple habanero yet, you can taste the cherry in it. It's got the cherry flavor coming through. You know that we like to make our stuff stand out. The heat levels are not super spicy on these at all. Our almost 2-year-old baby has ate some of these on tenderloin and things like that, chicken. So it's not super spicy. I don't like making anything that's super spicy. But some of the biggest things that we used after we launched the Glazes, I done a brown sugar glazed ham for Christmas, double smoked, and used a competition rub on there. I done the cherry apple habanero glazed ribs, which are really good. And that video's already jumped up there pretty big time. And then we done that Cajun-inspired prime rib, which is really good. And we took the leftover prime rib and made some prime rib sliders out of it. I bought me a new slicer, and I can tell you I love using that thing. Used it for the prime rib for that, and I've turned around and used it for cutting the turkey breast up.
Yep.
And I'm going to tell y'all, I'm not going to carve turkey anymore with a traditional knife. Cutting that up and every slice being precise like
Well,
that.
and you only cook turkey breast. We don't cook a whole turkey.
I don't cook whole turkeys most of the time anyway.
Our family doesn't eat
Yeah.
a lot of that.
Well, we get those. They're huge turkey breasts from Kevin Green down to Butcher Shop in Pensacola, Florida. They're probably 6-pound turkey breast apiece.
They are
6
large.
or 7. And so you're talking about a huge turkey breast here. So I cut it in half and throw it up on that slicer and go to slicing. And I can tell you, just from moist, juicy, the way I brine them or injected them, and keeping them really simple and cutting them thin like that, just making a sandwich later or using them, you'll never convince me there's a better way to do turkey than slicing it like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's very consistent.
Very, very consistent. And it's, the launch of those glazes, we sent them out to all our ambassadors and things like that across. We've got a lot of good feedback so far. And 2023 has just been an incredible year. I can't believe it's over with already. I mean, especially I think with us having our precious little baby girl in April, I think things just kind of went with a blur. Not having year before.
I was like, she was 1 in
Well,
April.
it's not
Should be 2
having her
this
birthday,
April.
but I think having her has kind of made us not focus on other things, looking at her and doing things with her every day. We kind of got lost in the moments, and the years just flew by. I mean, you'd never make me guess that we just like recapped everything we done in those 12 months, just cooking recipes to traveling and doing things like that. And it just went by super fast. And so I know 2024 is going to be the same way. It's going to be wild. At least this year, I'm pretty prepared. I'm very proud of myself. I've already planned out almost every recipe for the year.
See if it changes.
I mean, some of it might shift and change, but we've.
Who do you want to have on the podcast this year?
Well, I'm pretty sure we're going to get Malcolm and Shell up at some point. We were going to get them up sometime this year, and just honestly, just busy, just hadn't, and we're 20 minutes apart.
Yeah, if that.
Yeah, I know Malcolm and Shell. I'd love to have Mark and Jamie on.
Yeah.
And Mikey and and Malcolm, all four at one time, talk about Buck Junkies too. Because I listen to the Buck Junkies podcast, and I know we should be able to sit down with Matt at some point this year and have him on the show. We got Bob and Mo coming up.
Yeah.
And we done one on Bob and one on Mo separately as well. I don't know. It's going to be interesting. We're going on several trips, and I'm taking the time to kind of plan some things out at some of the trips we're going on to be able to sit down with some of the people that we don't cross paths with a lot of times.
Yeah.
That we jump on a phone call every now and then. And so while we're on these trips, we're going to go hide somewhere and sit down for 30, 45 minutes and just have a conversation about barbecue in general. Hope to do that. Then just really looking forward to kicking off really this year with that event in Cape Girardeau in a couple of weeks. So looking forward to that and seeing everybody and just seeing how it goes and getting the year started.
Be some different people there this year too, right?
It will be
Right
some
there.
different people this year. I think they've changed the format a little bit, but it's going to be a good time, I'm sure, indoors. May have to set up a little mobile bar.
I feel like I need an oxygen mask if I can breathe in all the
No,
smoke.
it won't be bad.
If I do go.
Well, for anybody listening to the podcast, you got any ideas, anything you want us to cook, any guests you want us to have on, anything like that, please send it in. You can DM it. You can comment it on anything. But we take all those suggestions and we write them down and try to initially get to them.
Your phone didn't ring this time.
My phone did not ring this time. I'm very proud of that. I just want to say thank you to everybody that kind of supported us in 2023 and stood behind us and made our brand for what it is. And I still can't believe we're on this incredible barbecue journey that we've been on. And I just can't see what the rest of 2024 is going to hold. So
Never know.
never know. All right, we'll see y'all next week for another episode of Shootin the Que. And 2024 is going to be better than ever.
Thank you for tuning in to the Shootin the Que podcast. If you have any comments or suggestions for future episodes, please feel free to reach out to us on our social media channels or through our website. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast on your favorite platform. Leave us a review if you enjoyed the show. Until next time, keep shooting the Que.